Welcome to this week's edition of Nubcake News. Coming up later in the programme, a public inquiry into the habits of Bobby Kotick reveals that he drinks the blood of baby deers and snorts brimstone in his spare time. But first, the worldwide WoW community is reeling today after the shocking announcement by Blizzard Entertainment that they would cease all developer interaction within the continents of America and Europe and move their headquarters to a small frigid island somewhere off the coast of Antarctica. The move to their new island home, which they have renamed Southrend, comes in response to what Blizzard have called insufferably obnoxious morons on both sides of the Atlantic. Nubcake News has obtained a copy of their official statement, which we can read for you now. It is the opinion of Blizzard Entertainment that the WoW forum player base in both the EU and US is populated entirely by screaming babies. The EU forums complain about a lack of developer interaction, whereas the US forums complain every time a developer speaks on any subject and create huge threads calling for their dismissal. As a result, we are sick to death of the lot of you and will now only be interacting with the inhabitants of Antarctica, the penguins. News of this decision has spread like wildfire throughout the WoW forum community, with the US forums in an inspired feat of originality creating huge threads calling for Blizzard's dismissal. One user is quoted as saying, "How dare Blizzard abandon us like this? For years we've had to put up with their constant posting on our forum, ruining the signal-to-noise ratio and upsetting their player base at every turn. They should feel privileged to have been allowed to do so and learn from us, the omnipotent and wise player base, who truly know best. I have personally started an online petition calling for Blizzard to fire Blizzard at once for this graven insult." We approached the EU forum community in a submersible craft, which was capable of traversing the ocean of tears. Unfortunately, we were unable to get anything other than badly spelled whining about Blizzard being bad, mean, and nasty people, and how they should be banned from the EU forums. Blizzard have stated that their new focus on the emerging avian market is proving successful thus far. The Penguins have mastered simple tasks such as playing a Death Knight and raiding Nax 25. There were initial issues concerning the Penguins attacking the boxed copies of World of Warcraft, attempting to feed them to their young, but this was soon resolved via digital distribution. Unfortunately, it seems that the WoW community is unwilling to let the issue go, and several of the more irate customers were seen constructing rudimentary rafts out of Mountain Dew bottles lashed together with cheese string in order to approach the new headquarters. There are reports that these rafts were swiftly destroyed by undersea minefields and lasers reflected and amplified off of Ghost Crawler's blindingly shiny forehead. Shortly afterwards, Blizzard issued an open letter to the player base, which was delivered by Bill Roper. "To the citizens of Azeroth, in the light of your failure to post a single worthwhile thing on your community forums, and thus prove yourselves to be anything more than mindless trolls, we hereby give notice of the revocation of your status as Azerothian citizens, effective today. His Sovereign Majesty King Metzen IV will assume direct control over your guilds and characters, except the Blood Elves, who he only put in as a joke anyway, and is surprised you haven't realized it by now. The following rules are introduced with immediate effect. 1. You will all be issued with a copy of the Oxford English Dictionary. Please read it thoroughly, for you will be tested regularly on its contents. Failure to pass this test will result in a permanent ban. Please be aware that the following words and phrases are not considered real speech and are as such unacceptable for use. These include, but are not exclusively, slap in the face Blizz, Blizz hates Class X, Faction Y, or Spec Z. I am a paying customer. Cool story bro. I know the law. Pliz, Omg, Fidve, and Epic Fail. Generally, you should raise your vocabulary to acceptable levels. We suggest, to prevent confusion, that you look up the word vocabulary, and confusion, and word. 2. There is no such thing as what you are entitled to as a paying customer. You pay for access to the game, and that is it. We will not tailor the game to your liking, and henceforth, you must tailor your liking to the game. Any attempt to whine on the forums about this will result in a permanent ban and the sale of your personal details to Chinese gold farmers. You will be given a proportionate say based on how much you have paid in the future development of the game. This will consist of a post-it note, which must be sent via airmail to our Southend HQ. This will then be put in a sack with the other 11 million post-it notes and dumped into the sea. 3. Retribution Paladin is not in fact a real spec, and we did not intend for it to be used. It will be removed in the next patch. 4. All claims of elitism against other players when you yourself have not done anything more complex than Ingvar the Plunderer will be laughed at by our entire staff. You will then be banned and sent a strongly worded letter asking you to take a good long look at your life. 5. You will no longer be allowed to speak in public chat channels. It is obvious that you are not able to communicate in real sentences like a reasonable human being. Guild chat, tells and yells will also be disabled, and all communication will be handled via emotes. Since emotes are too complicated for you, we have replaced the slash commands with pictures of kittens. They do not really represent the emotions in any tangible way, but we thought it would be funny. Thank you for your cooperation, and have a great day. Your sound card works perfectly. So, a truly revolutionary advancement in the field of customer management. This reporter is off to work out which kitten represents /Wrath. This has been Nubcake News. Good night.